is our local Shakespeare scholar, author of several books about Shakespeare, both available at Amazon tonight. Please welcome Peter Jensen.
Thank you.
Well, I've got 5 minutes to tell you all I know about Shakespeare. Recently, though, I finished 10 years of research, and I also published a novel, Shakespeare's Lovers. It took a whole culture to create a Shakespeare, and lots of people loved him. The people on the cover, thanks to a friend of mine, an artist in Eugene, the rival poet, these are the people from the sonnets, the rival poet, Christopher Marlowe, the youth of the sonnets, the 3rd Earl of Southampton, who, by spooky chance, was an ancestor to Princess Diana, and the Dark Lady, early feminist poet, the first English woman, middle-class woman to publish her own book of poetry in 1611, Amelia Bassano, a daughter of royal musicians, also a niece, and she gave Shakespeare fits. All these people are in the book, and there are tragic and dramatic scenes in the book, staging of Hamlet, the first opening night of the Globe of Julius Caesar. But I have only 5 minutes, so I chose 2 very ordinary, little tiny scenes from the life of Shakespeare to show you just the ordinary life, the daily life of Shakespeare. In 1594, he was at home in Stratford upstairs at Henley Street in his parents' duplex, and he had a small office, and he was writing A Midsummer Night's Dream. So this little episode comes from that writing. Once in Stratford, Will wrote upstairs in his study. One day he heard giggling outside his closed door. The 9-year-old twins came in. They had changed clothes. "Daddy, it's me, Judith," said little Hamlet, dressed in a pink overdress. Of course, Will could tell them apart, but he knew many people could not, so he said, "Judith, how lovely you look today," to Hamlet. The twins giggled, but Judith, dressed in a boy's jacket, short pants, and a pork pie hat, looked a little bit worried. Will turned to her and said, "Hamlet, how handsome you are." Finally, Judith, near tears, asked, "Daddy, can't you tell who I am?" "Of course, Judith," he said, wondering at her distress. "I can tell you 2 apart no matter what you wear." Judith managed a little smile. Hamlet said, "It was my idea, Daddy. I was sure you could tell who we were, but we wanted to see your face when we came in. Can we go change back into our own clothes now?" "Of course, son. It was a fun idea. I'm glad you tried to fool me." The twins left, and Will, who was writing about his 4 confused lovers in the woods outside Athens on the shortest night of the year, paused to rethink his lines. He smiled at the twins' dress-up game. Actors, he thought. Hamlet dressed as Thisbe, and Judith dressed as Pyramus, my little butterfly and moth, trying to confuse me, their father, the biggest dress-up fool in all of England. "Will!" Anne's voice came up the stairs, mixed with spicy cooking odors from the kitchen. "Supper's ready. Roast wild boar with pepper sauce." And here's another even shorter scene. This happened sadly after the death of Hamlet at age 11, and it's 1596. And there's a bigger rundown house called New Place, and owned by the Clockton family, and Will and Anne decide to buy it. This is just a funny scene from his life. And you know, in 1596, he didn't know he would become William Shakespeare Incorporated, the corporation superstar. So here's one of his little jokes from that time. The owners wanted £60 for a new place. Will and Anne thought that was a fair price. Will decided it was time to celebrate by giving Anne a new set of soup spoons he bought in London. Oh, Will, 12 new pewter spoons, a match set. I can look forward to parties in our new house. I have something else, Annie. What are these, Will? These are 12 French forks, Annie. The Southamptons use them. They're part French, you know. People in London say the fork will never catch on, but I find them quite useful to carry food to my mouth like a pitchfork with hay. If I never, ever become famous for anything else, let it be remembered that Will Shakespeare introduced the French fork and civilized eating to Stratford. And now a bit of love advice to all the lovelorn people out there and lovers everywhere. I recommend that you write occasional poems for every occasion you can dream up. I've done it, and it has improved my love life. In the last Valentine's Day, I do it for birthdays, I do it for solstices, equinoxes, I do it for birds appearing in my backyard. Do it every day. There's always an occasion, okay? And there's the occasion right there. Okay. Anyway, I wrote this for my wife, Sandy, who's an English teacher at Lane Community College. And this is for her Valentine's, and it's called Map. Your quiet face is still my favorite map. My guide to trails my fingertips can hike, or a landscape my eyes can trace by sight, sitting further back, enjoying the view. I read this map across the dinner table, or when your iPad lights it as you read, or when you send a JPEG of yourself to me attached to some sweet email of love. You are familiar ground to me, my wife of 18 years. The contours of your face are all readable feelings that I feel responsive to my face, my animate. Your map in hand, I never can get lost. You are my place, your face, my map of home.
Thank you.